Hello everyone, back again with Story Recap. Before we get to storyline, I wish all happy and great day. Hey, today I'm going to recap the drama mystery movie called The Invisible Man. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film opens with a girl named Cecilia who was asleep. Then she wakes up quietly so that her husband, Adrian, does not wake up. Adrian is an optometrist. Then she took out a box of sleeping pills that she had hidden. We discover that she gave sleeping pills to her husband through water in order to escape from home. Then she goes to prepare her bag. She then directs the surveillance camera at Adrian while he is sleeping in order to monitor him. After that, she went to her husband's laboratory, which contained all of his inventions. She disables all alarms except the surveillance camera. She noticed a strange device in the laboratory, and she did not know what this device was. Then she goes outside the house and reaches the garage of the house. She finds the dog and tries to remove the alarm collar from his neck in order to take him with her. But by mistake, the dog crashes into the car and the car alarm sounds. So she has to run quickly before her husband wakes up. When she tried to jump from the wall, we noticed that Adrian woke up because of the sound of the alarm. Indeed, she runs away and goes to the road where she was supposed to find her sister Emily. Emily arrives and is riding with her in the car. But suddenly, Adrian arrives and smashes the car's windows, but the sisters manage to escape. We notice that Cecilia dropped the box of sleeping pills, so Adrian finds the box and takes it with him. After a while, we see Cecilia, who now lives with her friend, James, who used to work as a police officer, but she was living in terror, fearing revenge from her husband, Adrian. But after a while, Emily comes to her and tells her that Adrian killed himself. But Cecilia did not believe it. Emily then asks her how Adrian treated her, and she assures them that he was hitting and abusing her. Emily calms her down and tells her that she is now safe because Adrian is dead. We then watch Cecilia trying to escape the horror she was living in. She finally leaves the house without fear. James was happy for her because she was starting to get rid of her fear. James finds a package for Cecilia. She was surprised because she hadn't told anyone her address. She discovers that the letter came from Adrian's lawyer. She goes to Adrian's firm and meets his brother Tom, who was his lawyer. He told her that Adrian had given her part of the company before he died, and he had also recommended that she be given $5 million, which she would pay in payments over 5 years. But on one condition, which is that she is not involved in any crime or any legal violation. Otherwise, she will not take anything. She was surprised by this, but she signed the papers and left. When she returned home, she brought a gift for James and paid for his daughter Sydney's school fees. She also told her that she would cover her educational expenses until she graduated. When Cecilia enters her room, she feels a strange movement inside the room. The next day, while she was preparing breakfast, James went to work and asked her to wake up his daughter so she could go to school. When she went to wake up Sydney, she left the food on the stove, but suddenly we saw that the food was burning. Sydney comes in and gets the fire extinguisher and saves the day. At night, Cecilia was alone working on her laptop. She felt like someone was watching her. She thought it was James who had returned and was the one moving inside the house. But when she searched the house, she did not find him. Then she continues searching inside the house, but does not find anything. We notice that there is a hidden person behind her, and she is not aware of it. At night, while she was sleeping, we noticed that someone pulled the blanket. A white flash appears and Cecilia wakes up. She finds someone in front of her. When she approached him, she discovered that he was Sydney's mannequin. When she wanted to go back to bed, she noticed that there was something on her blanket. She screamed loudly when James came to her. She told him that she saw someone standing on her blanket, but James told her that this happened because of her overthinking. The next day, she goes for a job interview, and the manager asks her to show him the designs she has made. But she was surprised when she did not find her designs in the bag. She collapses and falls to the ground. Then James takes her to the hospital for tests. When she returned home, she received a phone call from the hospital. The doctor told her that the sedatives she was taking were the reason for this. She was surprised by this because she had not taken any sedative pills, but suddenly she found in front of her the medicine box she had used to make Adrian sleep. She began to suspect that Adrian might still be alive. The next day, she goes with James to meet Tom. She told him to tell his brother to leave her, but Tom and James were surprised by what she said because Adrian was dead. She told them about the medicine box, and she told them that she was sure he was still alive. She told them that he discovered a way to disappear and started watching her all the time. But Tom shows her pictures of Adrian after he died. After that, she went to her sister Emily, who was angry with her because she had received an email from Cecilia telling her to stay away from her and that she wished her death because she hated her. But Cecilia tries to convince her that she did not send her anything. Emily refused to talk to her and closed the door. When she returned home, she already found a message sent via email from her account. She felt angry about what was happening. Sydney came to her and tried to talk to her and comfort her. But suddenly, Sydney was hit and fell to the ground. She thought Cecilia was the one who hit her. She tried to explain the matter to James, but he did not believe her and asked her to leave the house. Then she continued searching inside the house for Adrian because she was sure that he was the reason for what was happening. She throws coffee on the ground and then sits on the ground with a knife in her hand. Then she had an idea to call Adrian's phone to find out where he was. But the surprise was that she heard the sound of his phone coming from the ceiling of the house. When she went to look for the phone, she found the phone with pictures of her sleeping. She also found a bag containing a knife and also found the designs that she had lost. Suddenly, a text message comes to Adrian's phone with a surprise written on it. She heard a sound coming from the stairs, so she threw paint at him. Indeed, the hidden man appears in front of her. She felt afraid, but when she went back to look, she found that this person had disappeared. She felt terrified. And when she entered the kitchen, she found the water tap open. She discovers that the invisible man cleaned himself of paint. Suddenly, someone grabbed her by the neck, but she managed to hit him with a glass plate and escaped from the house. She stopped a passing car on the road to go to Adrian's house because she wanted to obtain evidence to prove the truth of her words. She asked the man to wait for her at the door of the house because she would quickly bring something and come back. She goes to the laboratory and stands in front of the strange device that she had seen previously. She suspects that there is something strange going on. She discovers that this device is connected to many surveillance cameras. When she pressed the button on the screen, suddenly a transparent suit that had been hidden appeared, containing surveillance cameras. She discovers that Adrian is still alive and that he used this suit to disappear. She heard a sound in the house, so she takes the suit and hides. But she noticed that there was an invisible man and he knew where she was. He grabbed her and threw her to the ground, but she ran quickly and escaped from the house. On her way back, she called her sister and asked her to meet her because she wanted to talk to her about an urgent matter. She told her that she went to Adrian's house and she told her about the suit she saw. But suddenly, the knife moves and kills her sister. And then the invisible man puts the knife in Cecilia's hand. All the people who were at the scene saw the knife in her hand, and they thought that she was the one who killed her. Cecilia is arrested. She screams and tries to tell them that an invisible man did this. They take her to a mental hospital and give her an anesthetic injection. When the doctors left, she heard someone's voice telling her a surprise. James investigates her. She tells him that the invisible man was the one who killed her sister and that he was in the room with them. But James does not believe her, and he feels that she has become crazy. Cecilia finds out through the nurse that she is pregnant. She didn't understand how this happened because she was taking birth control pills when she lived with Adrian. When Tom went to her, he told her that all the possessions Adrian had given her were no longer hers because she had been convicted of murder. Tom told her that there was a solution to this problem and that he could get her out of prison, but on the condition that she must return to live with Adrian because he wanted the child. She finds out that he knew she was taking birth control pills, so he switched those pills. Tom tells her that she cannot escape from Adrian, but she gets angry and throws the papers and tells him that she does not want to return to Adrian. While Tom was collecting papers from the floor, she took a pen from Tom's bag. We discover that her plan is to kill herself with a pen, but the invisible man intervenes. She hits him with a pen, making part of the suit appear. The policeman hears the sound and tries to intervene, but Adrian beats him. When Cecilia tries to escape, the police catch her and take her back to the room, but Adrian beats them and escapes. Cecilia saw him trying to escape down the emergency ladder, so she follows him. She shoots at him, but doesn't hit him. She kept looking for him when suddenly he appeared in front of her and grabbed her by the neck. He told her that he was going to kill everyone she loved and that he was going to kill James and Sydney. He gets in the car to go to James's house. She gets in a car and follows him, and she also calls James and warns him to save Sydney. But the invisible man arrives home and enters Sydney's room. An invisible man beats her after she tries to run away from him. James arrives home and finds an invisible man strangling Sydney. Then he beats James until he loses consciousness. Cecilia arrives and uses a fire extinguisher to find out where Adrian is. She saw him and shot and killed him, but the surprise was that when she removed the mask from him, she found that he was Tom. When the police went to search Adrian's house, they found him there handcuffed and beaten. James tells Cecilia that Tom was the one who was doing all this, But Cecilia tells him that Adrian is the one behind it, and he is the one who made Tom wear the suit in his place in order to cover up his crimes. After that, she goes to Adrian's house to meet him. Adrian tries to explain to her that Tom is the reason for everything that happened. She tried to lure him in any way to make him confess. We discover that James is outside the house and overhears their conversation, but Adrian does not fall into the trap and does not confess anything. After that, she goes to the bathroom, but suddenly, Adrian feels that there is someone behind him, grabbing him and making him kill himself. After that, Cecilia comes out of the bathroom and screams at the camera. She calls the police and tells them that Adrian killed himself, but we discover that she was the one who did it and killed him after wearing an invisibility suit. When James came, she told him that Adrian killed himself and that the camera recorded everything. James discovers that Cecilia wore the suit and killed Adrian. James ignores this. Cecilia succeeds in getting rid of Adrian and taking revenge on him. Don't forget to support me with the like and subscribe buttons. Stay tuned for more film recaps.